beating expectations by 23,000 jobs isn't a game-changing thing. However, we're not seeing the BLS data, but I think, coming off of the previous time you and I had met about this, Fed Powell talking about, that a December rate cut is not in the bag. In fact, it's far from it. Very similar to the words he said. And I think we see a jobs report that beats any gains at all, and I think it puts pause. And the market tends to react like, okay, is this just feeding the Fed the ammunition for that December pause that they've been thinking about? You would think the consumer sentiment would undo some of that, but I do think they investors realize the Fed isn't looking so much at consumer sentiment. They're looking at jobs, they're looking at CPI, they're just looking at really 2 things, labor and, maximum employment and price stability. They don't really care about consumer sentiment, and so I think consumer sentiment should have undone some of the work that was done, but I think the ADP numbers just spooked investors enough to say, "Hey, maybe Fed Powell actually has a point. Maybe they are gonna pause the December rate cut."